Hi, and welcome to COMM655, right? What is it? Computer mediated communication and professional identity. The first thing I want to say is I did not choose that title. I'm actually not the first instructor of this course. The person who designed it left, and I was able to take the course, which I was actually really happy about because, to be quite honest, compared to the other things I teach in this program, this one aligns more with my interests. But I kind of took some creative license with the professional identity component of it because I wasn't really sure what it meant. And you probably don't either, but it doesn't matter because that's just the name of the course. What I would consider this course to be is a look into, I guess, best social media practices to leverage your identity or your persona, whatever, in the workplace, but also maybe in personal life too. It's certainly, this isn't a class about like dating on social network sites or anything like that. I think it's got kind of that professional edge, but I realize that not everybody's going to be using social media in workplace contexts. So I wanted to expand that a little bit more and give the class a broader focus. Also, I'm Elizabeth Cohen, Dr. Cohen. I have a PhD, whatever, if you don't know me. But I looked at the roster, and I think a lot of you do. I think some of you have had me for social marketing before. And if you have, you're in for a treat because I happen to think that this class is much easier than my social marketing class. Not to say this class is easy. I just think I would say that social marketing might be um, a little step up. So if you're doing this after social marketing, congratulations. There'll be a little bit more wiggle room than there is in that class. Not that that's a bad class. If you haven't taken it, I'm really not trying to scare you. I actually think in some ways it's a it's a wow. How am I throwing my classes under the bus right now? It's definitely a more rigorous class in terms of you having to keep up with it. But for that reason, I do think that there's some payoff that you get at the end because you really get to see how your step-by-step stuff pays off. This class is much more, if you miss a week, it's not going to be the end of the world. We kind of switch topics a lot. So, uh, like I said, it's not like it doesn't build on itself as much as the other class. So, on one hand, maybe that's not as I don't know, organized as some of you would like it. But the nice thing is it gives you a lot of flexibility. So let me get, first of all, I'm sorry. So working from home, pandemic and all. So I don't even have a paper copy of my syllabus because although we have a printer at home, it's just not as fast and competent as my one on campus. So I'm like looking at everything on my computer screen. One of many sacrifices. I just wanted to run through kind of the highlights of the course. It is really basic though, so hopefully this won't take long. And of course, you can read any sort of elaboration you need on any of the scheduling things or policy things that I bring up on your own. But even though this is a class about social network sites, the first thing I want you to know is good news. You don't necessarily have to be on social media. I know not everybody is, and to be quite honest, I don't necessarily blame you. I am on several social media platforms, but not a day goes by that I don't ask myself if it's the right thing to do. I really do. I feel torn about the privacy issues and all the things that our society is kind of collectively wrestling with social media. At the same time, I don't mind teaching it at all because it is, I really do believe, such an important part of, like I said, not only your professional life, but your personal life too. Having said that, although you don't have to get any sort of social media account, the final project in this course is going to be analyzing somebody else's social media presence. So I'm not going to make any sort of requirements in terms of it has to be on Twitter, or it has to be on Facebook or whatever. But the only thing I will say is that at bare minimum, you need to have access to somebody else's social media presence so that you can see it. I don't think it'll be a problem. If you start running into things, reach out to me and we'll figure it out. But you don't need to get on social media to be in this social media class. You do need to get a book, however. And I'm sorry I didn't have the book on the list, but I don't know how to explain this. I hate the WVU bookstore. There, I said it. No, and the truth is this is a pop press book that should not cost you much money. You can probably, it's not like one of these like $100 biology textbooks or whatever. You should be able to go on Amazon and probably get a used copy. I'm going to actually look it up right now. It's called Contagious. We're only going to use it for the last 3 weeks of class. So if you don't have it, don't freak out. That's the other reason I wasn't worried about like making sure you have it. Like you're not going to need it for most of the semester. It's only the final weeks. It's called Contagious. It's all about why things catch on. They even have an audiobook if you don't want to read. Not to say that there's anything wrong with audiobooks, but you can get a brand new paperback of this book for $9.83. You can get a Kindle version apparently for $4. Wow, that actually, maybe that's a special offer for me. So don't take the point is you're only going to have to spend hopefully about $10 on this book. And order it in advance, especially now that things have slowed down on Amazon. But I'll try to give you some reminders. You'll need that eventually. For the rest of the semester, you're just going to need to go on eCampus, and each week I'll have readings that are posted there for you to read. And you don't have to buy anything. Sometimes these readings are going to be like pop press articles, like news articles. I try to put a lot of those in just because, I don't know, textbooks are great and academic articles are great, but sometimes I just really want to make sure you understand the concept, and pop press is really good for that. Other times, though, I will assign a handful of academic peer-reviewed articles on social media topics throughout the semester. I think there's even like an article that's really just kind of a chart, like an infographic at some point too. So the readings are going to vary each week. They're also going to vary in terms of length. So don't assume that because you only had like, a few readings this week that you're going to have the same amount the next week. Sometimes I'll only give you one reading, but it'll be really long. Whatever. I get too mired down in the details. So I need to just keep moving on. But one week, instead of having you do a reading, I actually want you to watch a documentary, and it's a documentary that you'll have to, watch on your computer or whatever. But so that's it for required readings. I also post summary lectures of myself doing exactly this. Those of you who know me know I'm not a PowerPoint person. I don't teach at this level PowerPoint classes where I'm trying to get you to memorize things and everything. It's much more flexible. It's much more kind of discussion based, so I don't really like doing that. The only reason I do the summary lectures is because sometimes I know that it's hard to latch on to whatever point I'm trying to get you to. When I assign you 3 different readings that are kind of talking about different topics, you might not see the common thread. So those summary lectures are really designed to boil down exactly what I want you to get from the readings, okay? Having said that, you might not even need to watch the summary lectures. I know as you're watching this, you're like, thank God. But some people really like them. Some people don't find them helpful at all. It really just, is based on your style of learning. If you can read things and process it in a way that you feel like is giving you what you need out of the material without the summary lectures, that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's really just for your help if you want it. Having said that, to figure out if you might need the summary lectures or not, really there's only 2 assignments in this class, and one of them is the final project, which I'll talk about in a second. The other one is, I'm going to sneeze. I can just feel it. Or not. All right. As soon as I stop, it's going to come. So basically every week you're going to have to do a worksheet. I call them worksheets. I don't know if that's the right term for them. There it is. It's actually probably not the right term for them. It's an assignment, okay? And really what it technically is in eCampus is it's like a test, but it's not a test because it's like you can open your readings and write whatever response you want. But it's just going to be a bunch of questions that you have to answer. Some are close-ended, but most of them probably will not be. Most of them will be questions that are trying to help me gauge how well you understand the concepts in the readings, okay? Whatever issues are discussed, how well can you summarize that? Or how well can you kind of, pool all of these readings together to make your own argument. So there'll be, I guess you could say, short answer or short essay questions sometimes, but sometimes they'll just be true or false, matching those types of things. It varies from week to week. It really depends on the reading. I would give yourself a couple of hours to complete both the readings and the worksheets. And I would even recommend trying to do them a little bit in conjunction, right? I would, if it was me, I would open up the assignment. I would see what kind of questions you're going to have to answer. And then I would go to the readings so that as you're reading, you can kind of process them with the questions you're going to have to answer in mind. But anyway, you're going to do that every week. It's just a really straight routine in this class. All of the assignments in this class, with the exceptions at the end of the semester because summer is weird, are going to be due on 11:59 p.m. on Sunday nights. So you can kind of get into that routine. I try as best as possible to grade your assignments on Monday. It might be a little weird this semester because I'm actually teaching 2 courses in the corporate MA class. And I don't know if I'm always going to have time to grade for both of those classes on the same day. So it could be, I don't know, maybe it'll be Tuesday that I get your grades to you, but it'll be at the beginning of the week. So, but that's it. I mean, that is the routine of this class. Every Monday, you go, you look at your assignment, you read the readings, you complete the assignment, you submit it, I grade it, you do this exact same thing the next week. And then at the very end of the semester, you're going to do what is, I call a social media presence analysis. And honestly, it's a final paper, but you're going to hear me say this 1,000 times. I want you to think about it like a final exam. You are going to do a final paper on a topic of your choosing. I want you to either pick a micro celebrity, that's what I prefer, like a social media influencer. And if you're not familiar with those, hopefully that'll be clear in the next couple of weeks when we talk about social media influencers. And you're going to analyze what you think about their social media presence in terms of what's effective, what's not effective, how are they making social media work for them, how are they monetizing it, you don't have to worry about the nitty gritty right now because, like I said, the whole point is to apply course content that you get throughout the semester to analyze somebody else's social media presence. That's why you need to have access to social media. I am going to ask that you get the person that you want to influence. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. Hey, I'm doing a video. I'll call you back. Bye. So I know what you're thinking. You're like, why are you at home and getting call interruptions from your husband when you're not even at work? He's actually outside. And I don't know, he can't come in the house and communicate. That's fine. Anyway, totally threw me off. Okay. So yeah, I want you to get the social media person that you want to focus on approved by me, but you don't need to do that until like July or something. I've got the date in the syllabus, so you can check that out. And again, I'll try to remind you so it's not like, but the only reason I want to approve it is I really just want to make sure that it fits the bill. So that you'll have enough to write about. Like I want to see the social media accounts that you want to analyze, because I'll know just based on assignments I've seen from the past if it's going to give you enough to make this assignment pretty easy for you. And honestly, that's the only time I think when you don't have a deadline on Sunday night, because the semester in the summer is weird. It like the last day of the semester is on a Friday. And I need a little time to grade those final assignments. So basically, the last Wednesday of the semester is when your final assignment is due. So that's really the only time that whole Sunday 11:59 thing gets messed up. But anyway, I have definitely blathered on enough, I'm sure. I don't really, though. I mean, it's if I haven't covered something, obviously check out that syllabus. You do need to take for your first assignment a syllabus quiz, and that's like an all or nothing thing. So basically that means there's 15 questions, I think. If you don't get all 15 questions right, I'm going to give you a 0. But you can take the quiz as many times as you need to get all the questions right. The reason I do that is because the whole point is to make sure that you know these things in the syllabus and on eCampus. So I just want you to get all 15 questions right. But if you're going through that quiz, if you're reading the syllabus and you're like, I don't know what this crazy lady means, just drop me an email and I'll try to clarify anything that I can. But anyway, welcome. I was going to say it's good to see you. But I mean, honestly, this is like how everything's been for the past 2 months anyway. So It's not just you guys. Nice to digitally see you. I hope you guys are all well, healthy, sheltering in place as peacefully as can be. And, I hope you won't be a stranger if you need anything. Look forward to getting to know you this semester if I don't already and reading some of your work. So that's it. Bye.